Hello YouTube friends, Dr. Teresa here. Thanks for joining me. It's been a little while since I gave an update on the seahorses, and to be honest, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. I was really excited because Parley was just about to reach the 4-month mark and the other seahorses were going to hit their 2-month mark. Well, I came home from work on a Thursday evening and Parley was laying on the ground gasping for breath. On top of that, I had work obligations that prevented me from really investigating what was going on. By the time I was ready for bed, she had passed on. When I woke up the next morning, Hunter was exhibiting the same symptoms, and before I left for work, he had passed on. I didn't know what was happening. I came home from work on Friday, and Memphis and Lacey, they did not look well. Memphis had developed that death stare that seahorses get when they're about to die. Basically, the eyes become fixed, they stopped moving, and it's an indication that they're at the point of no return. Well, I didn't want to give up. I tried to troubleshoot what was going on. One of the things that made it a little bit more complicating is that in addition to Hunter dying that morning when I went to go check my goldfish tank, one of my black moors had also died. So my first thought was there's something in the air getting into the water, because there's no reason that something should be affecting both tanks. They're two different systems. One is salt water, one is fresh water. Well, I continued to analyze, and one of the things I thought about that was different on the seahorse tank is I had added intake or pre-filter sponges to prevent food from getting sucked up into the filter. The food was creating the water parameters to become imperfect, and I was using a lot of food and wasn't really sure how much the seahorses were eating. As a result, it seemed like there was waste building up in the tank, and I had to clean it more regularly. The bottom wasn't staying clean. So I suspected that buildup of waste was creating toxic pockets. I removed the sponges, and not too long afterwards, both Lacey and Memphis started to improve in their color. They became a little bit more active. I did a small water change, and they made it another day, and I continued to do mini water changes every day, and they were getting better. They were starting to eat again after they had completely lost their appetite, and I was really, really excited about how they were doing. As far as the goldfish, we suspect, when my husband and I were troubleshooting that situation, we know that one of the black moors had gotten injured when it got caught between some rocks several months ago when we had more rocks in the tank. We had since then removed them because as the goldfish were growing, they were getting stuck in between the rocks. So this was something completely different. Well, I thought I had everything solved. We made it 2 weeks. The appetites were great. It looked like the seahorses were starting to gain a little bit weight. They had lost quite a bit through the whole experience. Then, just a little over 2 weeks, on a Friday night, I come home from work and Lacey is exhibiting the exact same symptoms that I noticed of Parley 2 weeks before. I didn't understand it. I couldn't figure it out. The water quality was good, the temperature was good, skimming was good, filtration was good, tank was nice and clean. And as I looked at her labored breathing, I did wonder if that situation with the sponges and all the parasites that could have potentially been building up, or just parasites getting into their gills because she was breathing so hard. So I did a formalin bath on her for about 45 minutes. I did notice some concerning symptoms in Memphis as well, and I performed about a 45-minute formalin bath on him as well. Well, I fully expected to get up Saturday morning and expect Lacey to have passed on, and she didn't. So it did make me wonder if there was something to my thought about being some sort of parasites in the tank Part of the reason I thought this was because I didn't think the seahorses were gaining as much weight as they should have for what they were eating. There was not as much shrimp going into the filter because my new seahorse feeding station was doing a nice job of preventing that from happening. Much less shrimp was going into the filter. Well, I was surprised when I got up Saturday morning. Lacey was still alive, not looking well, really barely any eye movement, often having that fixed seahorse death stare. So this is where I am now. I have cleaned out the filter, and I have removed the carbon, and basically I am treating the tank for potential parasites. I don't know what's going to happen at this point. I honestly don't know why I continue to have so many problems with the seahorses when there were much fewer options for buying seahorses and much less information. I had so much better luck, and it seems like even though I have researched things well and think I have everything set up, I'm just not having luck, and I really don't understand that. So if these seahorses don't survive, I just don't know what I'm going to do next. This has been so heartbreaking. My stomach has been churning through this entire experience, and it's been quite a roller coaster ride. I will follow up no matter what happens. I'm hoping to follow up that maybe the seahorses fully recover, but of course there's a great possibility that may not be the case. Well, I appreciate you following along with me. This has just been so sad and heartbreaking. I continue to reflect and analyze what's going on. And hopefully I'll get to a point where I'll just be able to enjoy the seahorses. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you continue to join me. Take care.